Hey everybody, this is Big Dave. It is January 27th. It's been actually a solid 20 days since my last post. Um, so I wanted to give you guys an update on how I'm doing and what's going on. Um, it's been a kind of a challenging 20 days, I would say. Things are still going well, but sort of real life is intruding on, you know, on what I do, and sometimes it's kind of like a rough transition. And what I mean by that is, I'm starting to venture out more from sort of the safety of having like a super restrictive diet. And I've gone out for lunch a few times in the past couple weeks. And sometimes, you can go to a place like a soup place or a salad place and sort of pick something that is easy and you can handle without too much thinking. But one of my friends wanted to meet at a Thai restaurant the other day, and even though I chose a soup, um, I don't know, the portion was huge, and I didn't really enjoy that meal. Even though I ate what I was supposed to, it was just felt like too much of a challenge. I'm gonna get to a funny thing about restaurants because I also had brunch yesterday with my young daughter and one of her friends and her family, and that was also challenging. But anyway, just to recap, so today's January 27th. I had my procedure on December 3rd. I'm nearing my 2 month mark on the surgery. On Thursday, the 31st, I have my 2 month follow-up appointment with my surgeon and his team. We'll see how that's going. Numbers wise, I started I started at 291.2. This morning I was 233.4, approximately 57 and a half pounds. I think 20 days ago when I had my last video, I was exactly 10 pounds over. So in 3 weeks I lost 10 pounds. And speaking of weight loss, I'll say, January has been tough. Like there was a full week where I didn't lose anything. And I talked about it, sort of like my first stall. Then I started losing, but it was definitely slower, and it's definitely this like 2 to 3 pound per week kind of loss, which is great. But when you're coming from like my first 5 weeks where I lost, 40 pounds or whatever it was, 45 pounds, it feels like you're not losing, and you're like, oh, and I started questioning, I might snack on a handful of almonds or get a slice of cheese, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm screwing this up. I'm setting myself up to like fail. But in truth, I'm still eating small portions of everything. And so I hadn't weighed myself in a few days until this morning, and I wasn't sure like what I was gonna find. I was a little bit concerned. In fact, Friday night I went to the movies and I had a small popcorn. And popcorn's something I had tried already. I knew I would tolerate it, but I ended up eating maybe like 40% of a small popcorn bag, and that I didn't feel sick from it, but mentally I was like, oh, this is probably way too much for me. So little things like that, I start second guessing myself. But in the end, the weight is coming off because I'm still not eating poorly. I'm still not eating junk food. I mean, the popcorn, maybe that counts, but the regular junk food that I used to eat all the time. I'm not eating bread. I'm not eating, I'm still taking to work about 3 4-ounce containers in which I put my various small meals for the day. I've been eating a lot of chilies just because that's easy and it has protein from the beans and stuff. Other things are still, eggs. I'm cooking a lot, and I'm doing a lot of different recipes with cauliflower where I rice it or mash it. So I might do like a, cauliflower fried rice or some Hispanic dishes. I've been experimenting. It's kind of interesting. There's a Hispanic dish called papa rellena, which is traditionally you take potatoes, you mash them. With the mashed potatoes, you have a filling which you've pre-cooked, let's say like beef, and then you form a ball with the potato, and so the filling's on the inside. You fry that, and it's really good, right? My version, I made cauliflower mashed potatoes. I had ground turkey, which I had cooked already, and I put that in as my filling. I made my ball and I baked them. And it was pretty good. I mean, the quantity I made was so much that after the second or third day, I was still eating them, and I kind of got tired of them. But overall, I was like, this is a pretty good facsimile of a baked version of a papa rellena, made from cauliflower, not from rice. And I don't know how to break down the nutrients from that, but I feel like it probably was decent. I've also there's another Spanish dish called arroz con gandules, which is basically rice with pigeon peas. It's very savory. And I made the arroz con gandules, but I substituted the arroz, the rice, for cauliflower, which I had riced. So those are some of the examples of things I make. But on a given day at work, I'll take a 4-ounce container of chili. I might take 3 or 4 crackers. I check the box to make sure it's 1 serving of that. I might take scrambled eggs. I might take one of the dishes that I've made, like the arroz con gandules, cauliflower style. And so I eat that over the course of the day, and I'm still, during the work week, drinking my Muscle Milk non-dairy protein shakes, but I can only really fit one of those into my daily eating, because it's not really what I want to be drinking or eating. Although it still has the ability to satisfy me if I'm feeling hungry, and it is a meal replacement when I do it. When my wife will cook, she'll make sort of Asian dishes. Like there's a Japanese noodle dish called yakisoba, which used to be one of my favorites. And in my mind, it should go down easily. It's noodles, they're soft, some vegetables, but I find that that's sort of given me that sort of stuck feeling where food is not going down well. We've had steamed salmon. I mentioned that I went to breakfast yesterday and I didn't really know what to get. So I got this side of like scrambled eggs. It was at a Filipino restaurant. It came with this like cheese and eggplant and rice. And my daughter got a side of pancakes, a side of scrambled eggs. And so of what I was eating, the cheese, the eggplant, and even the rice went down fairly easily. The pancakes that my daughter had, I tried, and those went down okay. But in the end, 2/3 of the food was on my plate. And so I mentioned earlier, one of the things about eating out, like 2 to 3 times now, I've had someone at a restaurant sort of like say, is everything okay? Like, for example, when I went to the Thai restaurant, I had a beef noodle soup because I knew I could drink the broth, and the noodle maybe, I can handle. And I even tried the beef very little, but in the end, it was a sort of extremely large bowl of soup that you get, and I ate maybe 1/5 of it, and mostly broth inside. And I was having lunch with a friend I hadn't seen in a while, so we were just talking and having a really long lunch, and they kept kind of coming by, and the owner of the restaurant was like, is everything okay? If you don't like it, I can make you something else. And I'm not really feeling like telling folks, oh, well, I just had gastric bypass surgery and I don't want to, I can't eat all this food. So I'm, reassuring them, hey, no, it's fine. I just can't eat right now. And my buddy actually said, no, he ate lunch before this. He didn't know we were eating lunch. He kind of like covered for me. But then yesterday at the breakfast place, it was Filipino restaurant, and most of the brunch items were like these, what would really be a dinner, right? Like rice and salad, and then some kind of meat like chicken or pork. In my old life, I would have loved this stuff, and I couldn't get that. And when I ordered that eggplant egg dish, the owner of the restaurant was like, this is really a meat place. If you haven't been here before, unless you're a vegetarian, I recommend you get one of those, because this eggplant thing, he kind of wanted me to experience the best of what they did. And I just, was very polite, and I was like, no, I can't eat meat right now. But it's interesting that I've had to explain my choices on more than one occasion, and I've only gone out to like restaurants in total maybe 4 or 5 times, and 3 of those times were like at a Hale and Hearty kind of soup place. 2 of them were at like more regular restaurants, a Thai restaurant and a Filipino restaurant yesterday. So I would have to say overall eating out is not that enjoyable for me. On Fridays I often take my kids out after I pick them up from school. My wife is usually busy, so I'll take them to this sort of upscale burger place that they like called BurgerFi. And I go there and I don't eat. I might have my protein shake ready, but I know that if I just eat that kind of food, it's not worth it. Although I might have a few French fries, which weirdly cause me no problems. I'm a little surprised by the things that don't cause me problems. Some of the things I used to like popcorn or crackers, things of that sort, don't cause me any problem. But like a meal, like a cooked meal that you'd have at home or at a restaurant, seemed to like be harder. And I've definitely had a handful of times in January an instance where either I ate too fast or the food just didn't sit with me well, and I got that sort of painful, uncomfortable feeling in my sort of like in my windpipe here that you get when the food just isn't going anywhere. And then I'll have to like leave the dining room table, lay down on the couch for 20-25 minutes, and it goes away. I haven't thrown up from that feeling, but it's not been comfortable. So anyway, that's sort of the update on the eating and the weight loss. I was pleased this morning to be at 233. My goal for my appointment with my doctor, which is going to be on 31st in a few days, was to be at 235. So I've made that goal, and I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm going to have to think about a realistic goal for the end of February. But my goal will be at least 10 pounds, so to be at 225. But overall, I'm feeling good about it. At this point in my weight loss, the results are kind of obvious, and everybody at work, people who 2 or 3